Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Kam Johal Show, where we talk to inspiring people that are going to help us all to feel much more motivated and much more inspired. And there couldn't be anybody that I can think of right now that's much more inspiring than my guest today, the lovely Rupa Parmar. Hi, Rupa.
Hi, Kam.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, great to have you.
Thank you.
So you drove all the way from London to be with us tonight? Thank you so much.
Yes, I did.
How was the journey?
It was nice. It was nice to get out on the open road, be with myself for a little while.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. How has things been? Because obviously, you know, over a year now since we've literally been locked down,
Yeah.
we're just beginning to move around, right?
Exactly.
So how is that now? Because we're going to talk about your business a bit later on.
Yeah.
So how is it getting out of the house and out and about?
It's a little bit surreal sometimes because, you know, that year, what was 15 months, it just seemed like to go on forever for me, you know.
Yes.
It's different for different people. But I think what kept me busy at home is I've recently become a mother. So I've got a 5-month-old baby at home. So during the lockdown period, I was pregnant as well, of course. So I did spend most time at home anyway. So maybe it didn't affect me as much as it would other people.
Yeah.
But our business, what we do, you know, our trade is meeting people, getting out and about, events, etc. So it's nice.
Yeah. I kind of had to do a reality check for when lockdown was easy.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like you said, since last March, it's all been Zoom, isn't it?
Exactly.
You know, homework and Zoom.
Exactly.
And it took me a few weeks to kind of adjust and think, right, here we go.
Yep, exactly.
So obviously I come to the studio once a week.
Yeah.
And I stayed in a hotel after just over a year.
Okay.
About 6 weeks ago, which
Must have felt nice.
It
Different
was
bed.
really strange. You know, so but you know, we've all had to adjust.
Exactly.
So Rupa, you know, incredible story. So as we said, you know, you're a mother, a wife. You live in an extended family.
Yes.
It's a real model of an Asian woman, right?
Very traditional, typical Asian woman, yeah.
Or so it would seem.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to discover that's anything but the case.
Yeah.
So take us back. You know, where were you born? What was upbringing like?
So I was born and bred in the UK, in London.
Yes.
Parents are very modern as well. They are very modern. Dad just works for the Royal Mail. He's now a private chauffeur working for a company. My mum's worked for the post office for 30 years.
Okay.
So from very, I would say, traditional, you know, backgrounds, working traditional jobs. They were second generation here, so just went to work.
Okay.
And I was raised really, really well. I would say very well. I'm the eldest of 3 siblings.
Okay.
So I've got 2 younger brothers. So I'm the, let's say, role model, you know, the one setting the example.
Yes.
And I guess we do what we've been told to do, you know, go to school, get education, get good grades. Although I was never the most academic person, I would say, in my family. I was probably more the black sheep in my family. My cousins and so many people always got better grades than me.
Yes.
Friends included.
Yeah. Don't they always? Especially in Indian families.
Exactly. You're always compared to everyone else, right?
Yes.
Or they did it, they made their parents proud, and you better do the same. It's like emotional blackmail, you know. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience of going to university. I did tourism and marketing management just because I thought it would be the easiest subject to do.
Yes.
But degree is a degree.
Yes.
It's difficult anyway.
But it's important, isn't it, to do something that you actually enjoy?
Exactly.
Because then it seems a lot easier.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
And like you said, very often 90% of graduates don't enter the profession for which they obtain a degree.
Exactly.
And so unless you're going to do a specialism,
Yep.
you may as well go and do something and
that
enjoy
you love.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you did that.
Yes,
and
then I fell into the hospitality industry. So event management. I worked for a marketing and events company in central London for 3 or 4 years. And I set up my own wedding planning business as well on the weekends.
Okay.
So I love my hospitality job, but I knew I needed something more for myself.
Why did you think that? Because for most people, they think, I've got this job, and it's quite a glamorous kind of lifestyle, isn't it? Doing
it is.
events and hospitality.
And I loved it.
So why did you feel the need to do something at the weekends?
I think it was more, I wanted to own my own time. I wanted to be in charge of my earnings, what I was going to make. I was in a very good paid salary job, Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily want to move up the corporate ladder.
Okay.
Area manager, director, I knew it was going to come with more commitment of time.
Yes.
And time is one thing that I wanted to have more of.
Okay. So It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to go backwards to go
Exactly,
forward. So
exactly.
like yourself, my first business was part-time.
Okay.
So I went to work Monday to Friday.
Right.
And I ran my business at the weekends.
Yeah.
So, but it's a time when you're young.
Yeah.
And your mates are all going out.
Exactly.
And thinking, are you crazy?
Yeah.
So what did that feel like? Because you, when you mentioned earlier that you were the black sheep of the family, now you're like kind of the black sheep of your community of friends, aren't you? 'Cause
yes, absolutely.
they're going out on a Friday night and you're saying, no, I've got work in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
How was that?
Do you know what? You kind of accept it, and it's a decision. For me, it was a choice. I could choose to be out on a Friday, Saturday night and enjoy myself and, you know, party or go to restaurants, whatever. Or I could choose to work on my, I'll say on my career, on my future, on my business, which is going to be for my family, it's going to be for my children.
Yeah.
So it is a choice. And, you know, people who are happy just working, that's absolutely fine. It wasn't enough for me personally.
Yes. See, the thing I've never understood is that people go to work in ungodly hours. They
Yeah.
leave home at 5 o'clock, drive for 2 hours,
Yeah.
get to work, and then get in 7:30, 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
Then Friday, they go out and get smashed
Exactly.
and spend the whole weekend
Exactly.
nursing a hangover. So they work on their boss's dream
Yeah.
all week,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then the time that they have,
Yeah.
they should just trash it all, don't they?
Exactly. And the thing is, people think it's normal.
It is though, isn't it? For a lot of people.
Yeah, it's the norm for
It is
them.
norm, isn't it?
Yeah, but now that I look at it, I could never go back. It's abnormal for me.
Yeah. So, you know, you're working 7 days a week.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're still the black sheep.
absolutely. Always
Yeah.
will be. It's good
Yeah.
to stand out.
And so how long did that go on for, that you were working literally 7 days a week?
I was doing that for a good 5 years. I
Wow.
would say. I know not long as most people would.
That is a huge time, though, isn't
Yeah,
it, for 7 days a
especially
week?
in hospitality.
Yeah.
Because my Monday to Friday wasn't 9 to 5. It was 15, 16 hours a day. My wedding planning business was sometimes 18 to 20 hours on my feet a
Of
day.
course.
It was ridiculous hours, and I said to myself, well, I want to have children, I want to be able to travel, I want to have choices to do things that I want to do, but how can I do it on the hours that I'm putting into the business right now?
Yes.
So something had to give, you know.
Okay. So, but you're still working, so
Yes.
you're doing all of this stuff. So
Yeah.
there's no time, obviously, to think about family at this point, I would have thought.
Well,
How's that?
I'm not doing my wedding planning business anymore.
Not now, but then?
I was then.
Yes. So you did that for 5 years.
Yeah.
Then what happened after 5 years?
I came across an opportunity, I would say, while I was doing that, whilst I was working as well in my job. A good friend of mine, actually, I went to university with. We hadn't spoken for like 5 years.
Okay.
You know what it's like after uni, everyone settles down in their life and they get busy and stuff. But I had a very good relationship with him from university. I trusted him. He came to me and said, Rupa, I've seen something, because you're in events management, I think you would like it. It was a home-based business.
Okay.
Something that I never expected. I never expected myself to get into something like that.
Okay.
But something magnetized me. I think something really magnetized me to it, and I said, okay, well, this is not something I've heard before, but I can see potential in this.
Okay.
I want to give it a go.
Okay. So you started that 5 years ago?
8
years ago?
years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and so what happened with the event planning and the career at that point?
At that point, I quit my job, threw myself in the deep end.
Okay.
Went back to work as well, so I did that back and forth, you know, that playing the tennis.
Yes.
Working, not working, you know, you try and give it everything. I quit my wedding planning business as well, just because I knew while I was comfortably getting an income elsewhere, I wasn't really gonna take this opportunity seriously.
Okay. Yes.
Does that make sense?
Burn all the bridges.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. I threw
Okay.
myself in the deep end.
Yeah.
I knew me.
Yes.
So I knew I was too comfortable with the salary, with the paycheck. I said, I need something to completely change my situation.
Yes.
Therefore, let me give this 100% now.
Yeah, I get that, because whilst you've got a safety net,
Exactly.
yeah, I can't function like that either.
Yeah.
So I've got to have it all or nothing.
Exactly.
So I get that.
Yeah.
So you quit,
Yeah.
you start this new home-based business. How does it
Yes.
go?
Not the way I expected. However, I learned a lot.
Yes.
Personal growth. I think that's the most important thing. Probably in any business you start, it doesn't have to be home-based or MLM. With anything, you've got to, you know, grow yourself to a certain thinking level.
Yeah, mindset comes first, doesn't it?
Exactly,
Yeah.
because now you're your own boss. You don't have someone telling you what to do. You've got to go out there and just make it happen.
Yes.
And I think for the first few years, that was probably the thing that impacted everything that we're doing today. But monetary wise, I didn't financially make the money I wanted to make.
Okay.
But it was a learning growth for me.
Yes, but the money always comes last, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
And you have to expect that. The money's
Yeah.
not going to come quick. Easy come, easy go.
That's right. Tony Robbins talks about money at number 6 and number 7, and he talks about that it should be even lower than that in the list of priorities.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you don't have any money, and somebody like Tony Robbins, I remember when I first heard him say that, I'm thinking it's okay for you. You're worth $400 million, right?
Now.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and I think it's a difficult one to take, but it is true. And as soon as you have a little bit of money, you really find out, don't you, that you consider it to be too important, I think, when you don't have it.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're learning now about entrepreneurship. You're learning yourself, aren't you? You're growing as a person.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Is that the advice that you'd give to anybody starting out today?
Definitely. You've got to ask yourself, what do you want in your life? What was your purpose? Why are you doing what you're doing? And I knew that working in my job was not going to give me, I would say, the lifestyle or the things that I really desired for myself and my family.
Yeah.
One of my biggest things was I want to retire my mum from work.
Okay.
And so if I could barely make ends meet on my job, how am I going to retire her from work?
Yes.
With my earnings.
Yes.
So it's another level in your mind, asking yourself, what do you really want to do for yourself or for others?
Yeah.
Now, how do you do it? What vehicle are you going to use? And make a decision.
Yeah.
On
Rupa, as
following it.
a motivator, I always think that we do far more for others than we will ever do for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I've used that to my own advantage.
Yeah.
Do you think that drove you more wanting to do something for your mum?
Always.
Yeah.
It's so easy to give up on yourself, but it's not as easy to give up on other people.
No.
We quit things all the time, gyms, diets, I want to do this, I want to learn an instrument. God, the amount of instruments I've tried, been to ballet lessons, done. But now that I know I'm doing something for my family and I'm so clear on what I want to give to them, I can't give up.
Yeah.
So it's very important to identify what you're doing it for.
Interesting, isn't it? So the thing that comes across is that you learned very quickly that you wanted to be an entrepreneur, that you wanted to help your family.
Yeah.
And that sometimes comes much later in life for people.
Yeah.
So what do you think was the driver for that? What motivated you so early on?
Yeah.
As we said, having a career and your own business at the weekends. What do you think the driver was that for? Was there a time in your life early on when you, in your teens, when you thought, what? I don't want to be normal. I don't want to do these things. I want something more.
Yeah.
Was there a time, or was there a person in your life?
I think definitely growing up as a teen, I always thought, okay, I want to live that kind of fairy tale life. I want the dream house in America, I want the dream car, and the dream lifestyle. And people around me always said, you're dreaming. It's never going to happen. Just graduate, get married, have children, and just work like everyone else does. But there was something inside me, I felt like, no, I need to do more.
Yes.
I can do more.
Yes.
And I believe in the law of attraction. If you really desire something inside, whatever situation, circumstances come across in life, it will slowly, eventually guide you to where it is that you're supposed to be. And I really believe in that. It's brought me where I am today.
Are you very spiritual?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you religious or spiritual or both?
Both.
Okay.
I would say both.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how anchored does your religion keep you?
I guess at an early age, as Asian parents, they do force you to go to the mandir. I got forced all the time.
Okay.
My parents are watching thinking, I still have to force you to go to mandir. It was more for me, I was thinking, well, you just want to show everyone that we're in temple and this and that.
Yes.
But I think when I came into home-based business in network marketing, I really understood gratitude. I understood about being thankful, about giving, about appreciating what you've got today. And so for me now, going to temple was my place of meditation.
Yes.
Was my place of being grateful for the air, for the houses, for the car, for the opportunity, for this life. And that got me more into the spiritual side as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's very important to be anchored, isn't it?
It is.
As a person.
It's guidance. Everyone needs guidance.
Yes.
Whether it's a person, whether it's spiritual, whatever it is.
Yeah. So you go into, we'll try and explain to our viewers, for those of you that don't know, network marketing to sometimes very dirty words, especially in this country.
Yes.
But we want to explain, and Robert Kiyosaki recently posted a video about network marketing and what it actually is.
Yeah.
But so you started in the first of those businesses 8 years ago.
Yeah.
How did that go and how long did that last?
So I started in 2013, and it was around 2016 that I met my mentor.
Okay.
I had many coaches in the first company, but I don't believe I met a mentor until later on.
Okay.
So in 2017, me and my mentor, this is a person who introduced me onto the platform. We started in 2017, this particular business.
Okay. Okay.
And I would say everything changed from there, really.
Okay. So let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
So for our viewers that don't know what network marketing is,
Okay.
so can you explain in the simplest form? Yeah, because I'm not actually that intelligent.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. Sorry. What is network marketing?
It is really exactly what it is on the title. So there's a company or a product that you are moving through people. So you're distributing a product or service through the most powerful form of marketing today, and that is word of mouth.
Okay.
60% of revenues from any business comes from word of mouth marketing.
Right.
The traditional advertising, the newspapers, the billboards, they used to work, but not as much now.
Okay.
And so companies have realized actually this is very effective. Let's cut out the middleman, what we call a MAD cost, marketing, advertising, distribution. Let's save tens of thousands of pounds and go directly to the consumer where they're going to recommend, a product that they like.
Okay.
And we do it all the time. We've been network marketing all our lives.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
Be it the movies we watch in the cinema, the restaurants we go to, the hotels we stay at. First thing we do when we go on holiday, take a picture, put it on Facebook.
Yes, of course.
We're marketing a holiday, a destination.
Yes.
But now you get paid for it. You get a profit share from the company. That's the only difference.
So a traditional company would sell its goods through manufacturers, wholesalers, then retailers.
Exactly.
So shops, warehouses, and online, obviously.
Exactly.
So that's where all their costs are.
Exactly.
Right? I also understand that, a huge proportion of the cost of the goods that we buy are for distribution, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So moving those goods.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is that what happens here is that these companies use people to move those goods.
Exactly.
Through recommendation.
Absolutely.
So they start using the product.
Yes.
Okay, and then they recommend it to their friends and get paid for that.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
It's very important to use the product.
Yeah.
A lot of people come into this industry, they're just buying loads of stuff, and that's traditional network marketing. You're stocking your products, you're storing it, you're sending it off, you're packaging it, but we don't so much do the traditional. What we now have is e-commerce, which has made it very easy. www, everything's connected online.
Okay.
So we don't physically hold stock, we're not distributing, but more importantly, to use the service or product, when you genuinely see value for it, you're going to want to talk about it.
Okay, because that was my next question, because from what I know about network marketing, people ended up with a lot of product in their garages, didn't they?
Exactly.
Right?
My dad being one of them.
Okay.
He used to do Amway like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so go and buy £5,000 worth, stick it in your garage, then hope to sell it?
Yeah, and just give it away for free because you want to make space in your store now,
Okay, so that's not what we're talking about here.
Absolutely not. No,
right?
No.
So no goods,
no.
Just purely services, e-commerce.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's what you started. Yes. So the other thing that you talked about was mentor and coaches.
Yeah.
So in our community, everybody's a mentor and a coach.
Absolutely.
Right? Right?
Yep, true.
Okay. So anybody
you mentor yourself as well, and you coach yourself.
What's the difference between a mentor and a coach?
So I would say a coach is someone more who, you're going to have sort of that communication with, like your guidance. It's your signpost. I need to go there. This is where they've gone. I need to go there. With a mentor, I believe you've got to work for it. It's someone that you attract. You don't ask for a mentor. You're given a mentor by chance of, you've done the work. You're at a certain place. You've got a certain type of mindset. And so they're the ones who you want to live your life like. They're the ones that you see as being genuine people. You want to take that same road that they've taken, and they will daily guide you. And the trust element is very important as well with a mentor.
So a coach doesn't necessarily have to have been successful themselves.
Exactly.
The casing point is one of the most successful football coaches.
Exactly.
Jose Mourinho.
Yep.
He wasn't the greatest footballer in the world,
Yeah.
but he's certainly one of the greatest coaches.
Exactly.
So where a mentor is somebody that's been there and done it, haven't they?
Exactly.
So you're treading in their footsteps, aren't
Exactly.
you? You're following their trail.
Absolutely.
And that's a lot easier to do, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And if you
it's
find the right person.
Exactly, and it's a two-way road.
Mhm.
They've also got to want to mentor you.
Yes.
You know, it's not just, okay, you can be my mentor, but also you've got to be worthy of their mentorship.
Yeah. The interesting thing about mentors and coaches, for those of you that don't know, all successful people have one or two.
Absolutely.
Most successful people don't believe in coaching and mentorship and don't usually have one. It's strange that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So, you know, the greatest footballers, the greatest sports people, the greatest business people,
Yeah.
the greatest politicians
Exactly.
have mentors and coaches and believe in
Exactly.
them and swear by them.
Yep.
Right? From the Indian community, we have gurus, don't we?
Yeah.
So we invented the word mentor,
Yeah,
really.
exactly,
That's the
yeah.
forerunner,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, your guru is somebody
Yeah.
that you learn from.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, you know, traditionally,
Yeah.
as from our history,
Yeah.
we've always believed in that.
Exactly.
But now we're a bit more cynical, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you meet somebody, you know, meet an individual that says, you know, Rupa, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
So tell us what happens then. So this is 5 years ago now, right?
Yes. So it's
Okay.
been 5 years now. So I've been part of this platform for 4 years. And it's literally just following blindly. You know, first of all, as I said, that trust element is the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know, when I saw that, okay, this man, this individual is a multi-millionaire. You know, he's done it within a few years being in this industry. He's got the results I want, but yet he's very grounded, he's very humble. And I think that's very important. That was a quality that, you know, really magnetized me.
Yes.
You know, he was very giving. And so I said, I want to be like this person. I want to be able to take my team out to a restaurant, you know, and pay for everyone without even blinking. You know, I want to be able to do the things that he's doing, travel around the world, going on first class flights. So I looked at him as someone that I could model,
Yes.
almost.
Yeah.
And I also showed urgency and the need of wanting to do it. So he was happy to work with me also. As I said, it was a two-way thing.
Okay. So
Yeah.
tell me something.
Okay.
So what I find is I'm very fortunate. I have some very, very successful friends. And, you know, all these people seem to be very humble, don't they?
Yeah.
Right? Giving.
Yeah.
As long as, did you have to show wanting? Did you have to demonstrate to your mentor that you wanted it?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because they don't give without that, do they? As they
Exactly.
say, you know, when the student is ready,
The teacher will appear.
Teacher will appear, right? So that really was true. That happened for you, didn't it?
Definitely.
Right? Tell me something. Without meeting that individual,
Yeah.
where do you think life would be? How different would it be today?
I think it would be very different. It would. In some ways, as I said, I do believe in law of attraction. So
Yeah.
I knew some way, shape or form, I will get to that level that I've always desired to get to. And so the right people come across your path. And it happened at the right time. So if he hadn't been in the picture at that time, maybe I'll still be in my job. Maybe my
Yes.
mindset wouldn't quite be the same, because he's someone who saw me and also believed in me, as well as me believing in myself.
Yes.
It's important that someone also believes in you, because you do have those days you feel discouraged, you feel down, you feel negative, but that mentor will always pick you up and say, I know you can do it.
Yeah. And of course, we come from a pretty tough community as well,
Yeah,
don't we?
absolutely.
In terms of our parents, like we were saying, tough on us,
Yeah.
because somebody's kid is always doing better than you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's you know,
Yeah.
some smart little kid in the
Exactly.
community, right?
Yeah.
So we're not a softly kind of
Yeah.
community of people,
It's a lot of pressure.
right? A lot of pressure, and you know, and the mentorship that we generally get from our parents is quite tough.
Yeah.
You know, it's not tea and sympathy, is it?
Exactly.
So, you know, what you were saying was that it's very important to meet somebody that, so this individual starts showing that they believe in you.
Yeah.
And that changes things inside you, doesn't it? When you
Absolutely.
find somebody that believes in you.
Yeah.
And what I found is a little bit like you were talking about the fact that you might let yourself down and quit, but you'd never let your mum down, would you?
Exactly.
So I think as finding somebody that believes in you,
Yeah.
that's driven me in the past to not to let them down.
Exactly.
Did you find that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah?
Because you know where them mentoring you and the way they've coached you, you know where it's taken you in your life. You know it's changed your mindset. You know it's changed you as a person.
Yes.
And so you almost feel a little bit obliged that, you know, I need to do this for this guy because he's done so much for me.
Yes.
But it's a great thing, you know, giving, you've always got to give as well.
So, you're equally invested, aren't you?
Yes.
Because
exactly.
I mentor.
Yeah.
And I want people to succeed.
Yeah.
But the more they invest,
Exactly.
the more I tend to invest.
Absolutely.
So you get this real bond when you meet the right person.
Exactly.
Whereby they don't want to let you down.
Exactly.
And you don't want to let them down.
Exactly.
And that's a win-win, isn't it?
Mutual thing.
Yeah. So you found that person.
Yes.
Right? So you joined a network marketing company.
Yeah.
5 years ago. So tell me about your journey, what it's been like.
Well, see, this isn't actually supposed to be, it's not predominantly a network marketing company.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're in a Forex platform.
Okay.
Financial education.
Okay.
So with that financial education, you've got the network marketing model attached to it.
Okay.
It's optional.
Okay.
So I come from this industry from 8 years ago.
Yes.
In network marketing, but in Forex it's been 4 years.
Okay.
But the two go hand in hand now.
Okay. So there's and Forex is another very controversial word, isn't it? Right?
We're going all out today.
Why not? Why not? Right? Get the bad news out first.
Exactly.
Okay. But you see, the thing is this, what happens sometimes is, we live in a nanosecond world of news flashes and sound bites, don't we? And bad news sells.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay?
Yeah.
So when people talk about Forex, we're talking about one of the biggest financial markets in the world, aren't we?
Absolutely.
How big is it?
$7 trillion a day.
A day. 7 trillion. How many noughts in a trillion?
12.
12 noughts in a trillion, right?
I've done my homework.
You have indeed. So that's how big it is on a daily basis. So the thing is, Forex wasn't, well, actually, let's go back. So Forex is something that we all have participated. If we've traveled abroad, we've participated in that $6 trillion market, haven't we?
Exactly.
So that's when we change currency when we go on holiday.
Yeah.
So obviously now we do it electronically in the sense that we may present a credit card. But if you go back to India, Pakistan, Africa, it's likely that you take cash.
Even over here, I would say, people are so skeptical about doing things online. They still want to go to the post office and bank and exchange physically their currency.
So if you're going to Spain and you need some euros, you're going to go, and you always need a little bit of cash in your pocket.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is what Forex is, foreign exchange, right?
Exactly.
So you are exchanging your currency for foreign currency, foreign exchange.
Exactly.
Okay, that's where it comes from.
Is, yeah.
So the market is there. So, I know enough about it to know that it's not meant for us, is it? Institutions.
Yes, exactly.
Is where that is, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's only that there are certain people that have made it accessible to the man on the street that we can participate in that and profit if we have the right skills.
Absolutely.
Right? So the banks, and so who trades foreign exchange on a daily, minute-by-minute basis?
Governments, retail traders, the hedge funds, banks, they've been doing it for decades. The richest people in the world. The millionaires become multimillionaires by investing in foreign exchange.
Yeah. So I don't know whether you remember, but George Soros, I believe, made $1 billion betting against the pound when we came out the ERM.
Yes.
So very famous case. You can look it up. His name's George Soros, one of the greatest investors in the world. And he literally bankrupted this country over the bet that he took against the pound.
Yeah.
Because he got wind of the fact that we were going to come out of the ERM and the pound was going to fall.
Yes.
So, as you said, huge amounts of money being made.
Exactly.
But now what your platform does is makes that accessible to anybody on the street, doesn't it?
Average person.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter your background. I mean, I didn't come from any background of economics or IT or finance. Graphs, stats, chart, they will just absolutely frazzle my mind.
Yeah.
Before I started this.
Sure.
And I think it was more me stereotyping and saying, I've never been interested in that, therefore I will never be able to do it. And that was my initial, it was actually my husband Vinay who said, Rupa, why don't we learn trading? He's a criminal solicitor by profession. He was working long hours.
That's right.
I was working long hours in my trade. And he said, we need to work smart, not work hard.
Yeah.
So when he first suggested to me, let's learn trading, I was like, I'll be the good wife and support you. You learn, I've got your back, you do.
Yes.
But he roped me into it. We paid a lot of money for a weekend course, because you do need to invest in a good educational platform, a credible company who's going to teach you the right way. So we did a weekend course. Weekend wasn't enough. We then invested a further, 25,000 on a 1 year course with that company. Again, after having done that, I said, you know what, this is long term. Okay, 5-10 years time, we'll get it. We've got to keep on practicing.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at trading as a quick fix. I understood that straight away. But it's only when we came into the particular platform we're with now, the last 4 years, simplicity, you know, ABC 1, 2, 3, it reaches anyone from any background.
Yes.
Doesn't cost tens of thousands of pounds because people just don't have that kind of
That's right.
disposable income. Even if you're working a full-time job, you don't have that kind of money to part with something where you don't know what the result's going to be at the end of it. It's going to be a risk factor for them.
Yes.
And the third thing for me, I would say the most important thing, it works around my time.
Yes.
Being a mother, living in a big family, to say the least.
Yeah.
It does really work around my time. And I love that.
So one of the other, you raised the point about, you know, fees that I charge for these courses. I was talking to an American educator who in California recently.
Okay.
So, and they're one of these companies that charges about $25,000 for their particular education.
Yeah.
And it was a business opportunity that she wanted to discuss with me. So I said, well, you know, you teach this particular business to individuals. Don't they then take advantage of that? Why do you want me to partner you and take advantage of the opportunity that exists? So she said, the problem is, Kam, by the time they've paid for the education, they actually have no money left to invest.
It's crazy. It's really crazy.
So if you're paying £25,000 for any kind of education, right? And then you are hoping to start a business with that. So you've got to look, haven't you, as to what you've got left to invest in that business. And I thought, how sad that these people are spending a year learning a business. And then when they get to the point where they can take advantage of it was a great opportunity. But they actually have no funds left to do it.
I mean, we knew people that were remortgaging their houses to be able to pay for their £25,000 or £50,000 course. You know, and then you've got to have a certain amount that you put into a broker account. Because the company doesn't trade your money for you. You've got to give it to a broker. Choose one who is regulated, FCA regulated, SSE registered, someone that's legitimate, because there are, unfortunately, a lot of Mickey Mouse companies out there. You know, brokers will say, put a £500 in, £1,000 in, we'll trade for you, or we'll give you a certain percentage. And I think people have had bad experiences, and that's why there's a big stigma attached to it.
Yeah, Rupa, we obviously had Vinay here a few weeks ago, your other half. And we didn't get round, you know, time always beats us. So one of the things that our audience will know about, and I certainly have had it, and people that have, we're getting lots of phone calls now, aren't we? $250, $300, we will trade that for you. Okay? And as you said, we don't know where those companies are based. Most of them are offshore. They've got UK landline numbers and mobile numbers, which anybody can purchase. And they've got hundreds of these numbers. So that you don't know it's the same number calling you. And they're asking for small amounts of money, £250, £300, where you are likely to whip your credit card out. What would you say people should do when they get those phone calls?
Do your research, you know, like understand if someone's calling you to say, can you give us money, or can you put money into this account? You know, don't do anything out of desperation. You know, don't do anything for a quick buck. You know, as I said, easy come, easy go. This is something that it takes time, but it's a skill worth learning. You know, you're learning to do it for yourself. You're not relying on anyone else. That person could disappear anywhere. You're back to square one. So what we do is we teach people the skill so they don't have to rely on anyone to multiply their wealth for them. Yes, it's going to take time, but it's worth it. You know, this is something that's not going to go anywhere.
Absolutely. But if you come back to this £250, £300, number one is, what can possibly happen with that amount of money if somebody's investing it for you? Not an awful lot. Exactly. Go out and have a great weekend. Instead, but at least you'll enjoy it.
That's it,
right? But take charge. You know, nobody is going to invest money, make it and then give it back to you. Especially if you don't know who they are. Okay? So it may seem, whatever seems easy at the beginning is usually hard at the other end. Right? So what we're saying here is get yourself educated. You know, over what amount of time, and then go and look after your own money and make it. Right? So you and Vinay have been extremely successful, you know, multiple six-figure earners, and you know, different income streams. right?
Yes.
So, and again, our own community is we have a business, it works, we get comfortable, and we don't want to look at anything else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, again, we were talking before the program, and you know, I'm always going on about this. The average millionaire has 5, 6, 7, doesn't matter what the number is.
Exactly.
But they certainly have a number of incomes, don't they?
Exactly.
We call it multiple streams of income.
Correct.
And you advocate that a lot, don't you?
I do, yes. But what I think is really important for people to understand with this is that don't do everything at the same time together. Don't start different things at the same time thinking, well, you know, I've heard MSI, multiple, you know, sort of revenue streams. I need to have more than just one. Find one that resonates with you. Find one that you believe in. Grow it. Create a system. Create a system where you're not necessarily needed there anymore to run the business, and then move on to something else.
Yes.
Or find something else. Find a coach or a mentor in another area. Make that work.
Yes.
Another system. And then again, you know, if you look at the likes of Donald Trump, he's so super successful now. He's diversifying. He's doing all sorts of stuff. But in his first few years, he was so focused on creating one system, making one thing work, and then doing the others.
And of course, when you start, that's where all the effort is, takes all your time. Dedicate your time to that one.
Yep.
Get that going so that
Exactly.
it doesn't require as much effort. Perhaps
Exactly.
you have some staff running it.
Exactly.
You know, it's systemized, runs itself, then start the next one
Yeah.
and the one after that. Okay?
Yeah.
Brilliant advice. Thank you so much. Right. So you're super, super successful financially, right? So let's talk about the other side of it now. Family.
Yeah.
Right? So you're a young woman, and you know what is that like in an Asian extended family in terms of having a business and partnership with your husband? How do you balance? Because you have two children,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
the youngest is only
5 months.
5 months old, right?
Yes, Daddy's looking after her today, hopefully.
Good. I hope you're doing a good job of that. All right.
Yes.
What is that like? You know, because people will be watching, thinking about, should I be living in an extended family? Right? Because you know, in the country that we live in,
Yes.
that's not a common thing in the host community.
It's not. It's
right?
not.
So you've chosen to do that.
Yeah.
And so, what's that like?
Do you know what? I can't see where there will be disadvantage that overweight the good stuff.
Okay.
You know, for me, there's so much more advantages to living in a joint family. And I think it comes down to individual people.
Of course.
You know, it depends on your personality. I've seen it. My family is also big. So my mum lives with her in-laws, so my dad's parents, all her life. You know, she's helped them, and they're still around. So you know, it's a nice big joint family of 7 that I've grown up in.
Yes.
So for me, I always think, well, if I want to be looked after by my children when I'm that age,
Yes.
you know, what goes around comes around, right? So I think, well, I don't know what my health is going to be like, what my situation is going to be like. And if I'm saying, no, I don't want to live in a joint family, I want my freedom and I want to live by myself, well, then my kids might say the same thing. And I really think there's so many benefits, as I said, especially when you have children.
Yes.
Massive help in terms of, you know, support, looking after them, doing stuff around the house. Of course, we still do our duties because we have to, you know, as daughter-in-laws, as wives. But it's really about them also understanding what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yes.
I think that's made my situation a lot easier, and it comes down to communication.
Okay, so how do you balance mum, wife, daughter-in-law at the same time?
Well, there's 4 generations in one house, so also granddaughter-in-law.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you balance those? I mean, for a young woman that's maybe entering that kind of setup, you know, what advice would you give? How do you know, make sure that all functions very well and everybody's happy?
I think the important thing is not to see it as managing time, but seeing it as managing priorities. You can't manage time. You've got what you've got. But you can say, actually, this is more important for me. I need to do this first. Then I need to do that. Then I need to do that.
Okay.
So I make sure that, you know, when it's my days to cook, I'll be like, Mum, what shall I make tonight? I'm free, I can cook something tonight or tomorrow or the next day. So again, communication. And so when I'm doing something in the kitchen, I'm 100% there. You know,
Okay.
I'm focused on what I need to do, although I do get the odd calls here and there to get on to meeting calls.
Yes.
But literally that's a 5-minute thing. But I am focused on, okay, this is my duty now. When I'm with the kids, okay, I'm 100% focused on my kids. I don't have my phone with me.
Yes.
You know, sometimes Vinny's like, where's your phone? I'm like, I haven't seen it for like 2 hours. I have no
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
So, and again, when I've got that time in the business, when I know I'm on calls, I'm doing trainings, I'm out and about, then I make sure someone's at home to kind of help manage the other stuff so that I can now focus on what I need to do in the business.
Okay. So tell me about the most famous thing that we think that women do really well and men don't do well at all.
Oh, there's
multitasking.
so many things.
Multitasking. Multitasking. That's what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So people talk about multitasking, right? I have difficulty doing one task at a time. So, you know, now I think from what you've said is that's not what you actually do.
No,
Right?
I plan.
You do the opposite, don't you?
Yes.
You focus on one task at a time.
Exactly.
So what do you say about multitasking? What is it, and what are your thoughts about it?
Do you know, I think if you're multitasking, you're not giving anything 100%. Everything's like sort of mediocre. The results are going to be mediocre.
Yeah, I get that
You're doing,
from you.
you know, everything at the same time.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm on a call, I'll be like, listen, I need 1 hour, I need to be on this call, I need to be super focused. So it's just planning, okay, between this time and this time, I need to do this.
Yes.
Between that time and that time, I need to do that.
Okay.
So it's not doing everything at the same time,
Yes.
but having time for everything.
Wow.
If that makes
No,
sense.
it makes perfect sense to
Yeah.
me. So what you're doing is you're focusing 100% on the task at hand.
Exactly.
And nothing else.
Exactly.
So, because if you came around to my house, you'll see me with phone in one hand,
Yeah.
iPad over there,
Yeah.
TV over there,
Yeah.
and thinking that I can do all of those
Yeah.
things. And like you said,
Yeah.
you end up not doing any of them
Exactly.
very well, right?
Yeah. And then by the end of the night, you're like, what have I actually done today?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a really important, in my view, piece of advice.
Yeah.
Right. How do you balance the excitement of going out in the career that you have, meeting people, because you travel all over the world when COVID allows, with coming back home? How do you ground yourself to, you know, looking after the kids, or perhaps taking mum or mum-in-law shopping, or whatever it is? How do you do that?
I think it comes down to knowing why you're doing it. Again, some of the reasons why we wanted to come out of the 9-to-5 job is so that we can take mum and dad to their appointments, we can take grandparents to their appointments, we can do things that they want us to do with them.
Yes.
And so giving that a priority for us is very important. Being able to raise children in a way that, you know, you've got time to, I mean, we go shopping on a Monday, you know, we go shopping on a Tuesday afternoon, we can go out to eat. We do things at times that normal people, I would say the average person, doesn't do or can't do. And so when we're living that kind of lifestyle, we're grateful for it. You know,
because the interesting thing about where you started from, it seemed like you had no freedom because you're working 7 days a week.
Exactly.
But the fact is, and I'm in your camp, by the way, because I've had my own business since I was 24 years old, is that it may seem difficult, but the difficulty is in having pre-prescribed hours that you have to turn up to a job, which it may be 9 to 5, maybe 8 to 4, whatever it is.
Whatever it is,
Right? But like you said, then you're in that channel now, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you do Monday to Friday, you get Saturday and Sunday. So when all the shops are rampacked on a Saturday, that's when you have to go shopping, right?
Exactly.
Instead of Monday, when it's much quieter.
Yeah.
So ultimately, the sacrifice that you make in the early years, and you know, a lot of the educators now are talking about this. You know, 20 to 30, make your fortune.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Learn, you know, start making your money.
Absolutely.
Later on in life, take your foot off the gas, be relaxed and spend time with family as you want to, right?
Definitely.
Because financial freedom for me is one word, which is choice.
Absolutely.
Get to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, right?
Exactly.
What are your thoughts about that?
Same. You know, that's what it's about. It's not so much the monetary value is great, but having that time, having that choice is nice. You know, you don't want to have to think about, what holidays can I take off to go and take my kids somewhere, you know, or should I call in sick? I don't feel like going in. And being able to live on your own terms, I think is important, because anyone can do it. Everyone has capability to do it, but a lot of people don't believe they can.
Okay.
And I think that's the biggest problem.
Do you think that's why people don't take opportunities?
Yeah.
Because, you know, opportunity in this country.
Yeah.
I came here when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I still think like an immigrant.
Yeah.
I see opportunity everywhere.
Exactly.
Everybody I speak to, I think
Yeah.
you could do this with your business, right? And I still see that all the time.
Yeah.
Do you think people are too set in their ways? I wouldn't call anybody lazy, because
No.
if you give them the right thing to do,
Exactly.
they'd really
They'll
go for
do
it.
Yeah.
Right? What is it about people that are quite happy to do, I'll call it 9 to 5.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anybody that does that, right?
Yeah,
Because you work
yeah.
everybody works
Of
extremely
course,
hard.
of course.
Right? What stops people from the time that they have in the evenings and the weekends to do a side hustle? Because 2 million people since the pandemic started have started a side business.
Exactly.
Because all of a sudden we're realizing that job we have, it may be not all that secure,
Exactly.
right? So if the pandemic's taught me anything,
Yeah.
it's that multiple streams of income,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So what do you think stops people? What turns you down when you say, come and have a look at this opportunity? Why do they do that?
I think it's two things. Number one, I think it's fear. People have a fear of, okay, if I put in that much effort, or I put in that much investment, I put in that much time, is it really going to work? It probably won't. It's a fear of failing,
Yeah.
I would say. And I think the other thing is, as sad as it is, what are other people going to think about what I'm doing?
Oh, yes, of
And
course.
that's what really stops a lot of people, although they may not admit it. I think deep down inside, it stops a lot of people. Agree?
So people who don't care about you,
Yeah,
are going to laugh at you anyway.
exactly. So you might as
Right.
well do it.
Right. So, and we have that throughout our lives, don't
Yeah.
we? The naysayers.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of that monkey chatter, isn't it, in your
Yeah.
own head? My personal view is that people are so worried about what others think of them.
Absolutely.
They don't really care about what they think about you,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So, but you live and you learn
Yeah.
and you educate.
Exactly.
So, what advice would you give to yourself 10 years ago?
Wow.
If you could go back. So,
I have done a lot of things differently 10 years ago.
well, look, wisdom is, right, learning from other people's mistakes.
Exactly.
So if there's a young man or a young woman sitting on a sofa watching this, right,
Yeah.
that's for them,
Yeah.
right? Because we can't go back. Hindsight's wonderful,
Yeah.
but we can't do it. So, the question is really for our audience in terms of, what would you do differently? What did you do that you thought, maybe, that wasn't so clever? What advice would you give?
I think for myself, if I was to advise myself 10 years ago, I would just want to slap myself and say, wake up. Don't think that there is security in just having a plan A option.
Yeah.
Don't be naive to, just having one source of income. Be open-minded, see what else there is. Because if you know that people are living a certain type of lifestyle, they're able to give charities, they're able to do donations, they're able to do something with significant amounts. Why can't you do it?
Yes.
Just be open to it more rather than thinking, oh, I'm secure, I'm in my bubble, everything will be fine. I think the last 15 months have proved things can turn around
Overnight.
in a split second, overnight. People have been made homeless, people have lost their business, people have lost their dignity, and it's sad what's happened to a lot of people. But I also say, that's a blessing in some way to say one door has closed, another one will open. Just be open to it.
Thank you so much. So tell me the most important question that I have for you today.
Okay.
Did you retire your mum?
She doesn't want to retire. That's a problem. She's like, I'm going to wait for my redundancy pay. She can. I said, Mum, you're 60 now. I don't want you to work anymore.
Okay.
She said, no, I'm going to wait for my redundancy.
Yes.
Typical Asian mentality. But she loves what she's doing.
Yeah.
But she knows at any point, she will just say to me, Rupa, I'm tired. I don't want to work anymore. I'd be like, Mum, I'm ready to support you 100%.
Okay, so have you reached... So retirement was
Yes.
your goal for your mum,
Exactly.
but it clearly wasn't your mum's goal for your mum.
It wasn't. But I do ask her the question. I'm like, okay, Mum, if you love your job that much,
Yeah.
would you do it for free?
Yes.
And she's like, no, don't be so silly. I need to make money. I'm like,
I'm
yeah, so
Indian.
you're doing it for money then.
Yeah.
But I think it's just that, being at home doing what,
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. But have you achieved your ambition that you made that offer to your mum which you clearly have. So
Absolutely,
mum, pack up if you want to tomorrow.
Yeah, and we've managed to do so many other things. We've sent them off on a business class trip to Thailand for the birthday, and we've given significant amount to charities for donation.
Brilliant.
And I'm really big on that. I really believe in the more you give, not that you expect it, but you're going to get back tenfold.
It comes around.
It's the law of attraction.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we've been able to do a lot. We've still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We're just scratching the surface now.
Fabulous.
So
fabulous. Rupa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
End of another show.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that.
I did. Thank you.
Come back and share your journey with us at some point.
We will.
So guys, time waits for no one. I hope you feel inspired as I do. And we are receiving great feedback every single day at the station, personally, and your phone calls are telling us that these are the type of shows that you want, that there's too much negativity on TV generally. So I'm really pleased that we started this journey last year during COVID. We were filming out on location, going to people's houses, socially distancing, and some interviews didn't get done. We ended up doing video links because of the restrictions. So we came through all of that to be able to bring you these type of shows. So your feedback is really important because these channels are for you. All right? If you don't watch, we can talk about whatever we like, and so really appreciate all the support that the channel and I get. And I hope you appreciate that all of the guests that come to us give up their own free time to try and educate us so that we get one or two small nuggets of information that are going to help us. So I shall see you next week with another amazing guest. Have yourselves an amazing evening. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next week. Goodbye.
Amazing.